God has done you, Cam, and me pretty good. It's our year, pal.
My sister loves you. Will you tell her to stop doing heroin?
What's not in store for season 2?
Family, take it in. These are the good days that we dreamt about.
Cam's picked up that man of the house kind of attitude a little bit. He's a little bossier.
I got 2 words for you. Contractual obligation.
I got 3 words for you, grown-ass man.
One of our characters kind of gets in a bit of a legal issue.
Unbelievable. You make it out of the hood and now somebody's going to jail?
The stories are very real.
One of these days, I'll get the courage to just chop it all off.
Sounds courageous. Looks stupid. The Callaways get into a bunch of shenanigans. You're definitely going to be entertained.
You was asking what Blair do? The answer is your mother.
You have a group of people going from nothing to having everything and the triumphs and the trials that surrounds it.
What's up?
What's poppin'? What's good? Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Yeah.
What's up, Ray?
So that was a great trailer, and as we see, Cam moves into the new house this season. I think it's in the first episode. Tell us about what we can expect in the new house and the new neighborhood.
Man, well, in the first season, we did the whole penthouse thing or whatever, and then you'll find out why we had to move into the new house in the first episode, but we move into this extremely nice neighborhood. We not really accustomed to being amongst that caliber of people, so you can only imagine what the Callaways got to go through when they get there. We got some typical neighbors, some stuff that might come up for Uncle Julius. He got to handle some business out there. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a good move for the family, you know what I mean? It opens us up to do a lot more. So, you'll see.
And how does Uncle Julius adjust to the move?
Oh, Uncle Julius loved the move. He's enjoying all the fringe benefits of being around the house and eating all the snacks and borrowing a little money from his nephew.
He gets into a little tiff with the neighbor about the dog in the second episode. Tell us a little bit about what happens there.
Oh, we have a neighbor that lives next door to us, and he has a big greyhound type dog that, when he walks him, he lets him poop in the grass. So this particular time, the dog pooped in the driveway, and I came out there and got in his ass for it.
In the first episode, there's also a fun little Nelson Mandela night that they force everyone to go to. Tell us about how that shook out and filming that scene and everything.
Man, look. Okay, so a theme that's kind of going around in the second season is like Cam just wants to focus on the game. You know what I mean? He's mid-season. He's like, look, I got to practice. I got to train this and that. I'm trying to make sure I can perform the way everybody expects me to. And then there's all these other events that keep coming. Like professional athletes, they got to do this stuff. But Cam is like, I don't want to do this. I'm just trying to play well.
Right.
So there comes up this whole thing. They're doing this big event for Nelson Mandela, and he's just like at his last, we're saying he's like, man, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And they're like, you got to go to Nelson Mandela night. He just goes off a little bit, and the whole family's like, oh, whoa, can't talk about Nelson Mandela like that, you know what I mean? So there's this whole big thing that happens. But it ain't really about Nelson, it's just the principle.
Right. What are some of the other themes we have this season? Because last season was more about, getting adjusted for Cam getting adjusted to his new world and being a star on a team. Right. What are the themes this season now that he's kind of, gotten a hold of things?
Well, now that everything is solidified, we know what we're going to do with the money. We know what the family's roles are. Now it's more so about, like, what do they do when they're not together? Because in the first season, you always saw the family together. We had just moved, into this new spot. So we're always just trying to figure out, like, okay, how do we spend this money, whatever. Now it's like, what does Uncle Julius do when Cam goes to practice? He doesn't need a driver or whatever. And, what does mom do? She's not just going to stay at the house all day long. Well, who are their friends?
Right.
They've been there for a while now. Who they hanging out with? So that's more so what you see in the second season.
Yeah. And so, you guys play nephew and uncle in the show. Have you guys gotten closer off the set because of your relationship on the show?
Oh, this is my guy right here, Jesse. he you know what I mean? And I'm getting a whole lot of, useful from hanging with him. I get to hang around him and learn all the new stuff, But Jesse's a great guy, man. Really good actor, really good performer, and
What's some of the new stuff that he's teaching you?
yeah. What's some of the new stuff? Instagram. I don't know how to work Instagram. And Jesse's showing me.
You learning though. You're getting a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. He's gotten a lot better.
Have you guys gotten any feedback from actual pro athletes about the show? Because LeBron James is a producer on the show, and some of it's based loosely on his life. But after season 1, have you guys talked to people or heard from anyone?
Yeah,
man, we get all kinds of, people hit us up all the time or whatever. Nick Young did a post like right after the first season came out. It was, there was one particular incident, I guess, that stood out for him, and he was like, man, that's so real. That's exactly how I feel all the time. And, he recorded it or whatever and then wrote like a whole write-up on it. And then,
I was just at the ESPYs. I presented at the ESPYs, and a lot of athletes stepped to me and asked me how could they get on the show. I told them, well, you don't you like the 8th man on the bench, so I don't think they were really right.
So you made a lot of enemies at the ESPYs.
Right, that's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like we lost viewers at the ESPYs, but that's okay.
Well, he's not the 8th man on the bench, but LeBron James will be on the season this year. Can you tell us a little bit about what he'll be doing and what his role will be? Will he be playing LeBron James or will he be playing someone else?
He's basically playing LeBron James at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Cam is going to be doing a one-on-one with him or nothing like that. It's more like a business thing. It's kind of how he finds his way into the show.
Yeah. And did you guys get to act with him, or were you on set with him, with LeBron?
Nah, man. Like, because of LeBron's schedule and like the script or whatever for that particular episode, it was more so about like his. He meets Reggie, and like him and Reggie do this thing. I don't want to give it away right now.
Yeah.
But because of his schedule, they didn't even shoot that during the normal season. That was like a month later that they shot that.
Yeah.
So
because of his security, I haven't been able to talk to him.
You keep trying?
Yeah. I had to remind the security, I'm in the business, man. Not right now.
So Mike O'Malley, the show's creator, a really funny guy, he had said that a lot of the stories come from LeBron, loosely based on his experiences, and from other athletes' experiences. Did you guys have to do a lot of research into kind of what it's like to be a pro athlete?
I mean, I can't relate to being a pro athlete because I tried to play sports when I was in school. I played, I would always make the team, but when report cards came out, I was over.
But for me, not so much. It was, it was kind of like all the development was done by the time I even got into the picture. You know what I mean? They sat down with LeBron and was like, tell us some stories, and then we'll put it in like television form. Then it's like, here, just make this happen. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really have to like look up anything and be like, well, I wonder, they kind of spelled it out for us.
Yeah. And so you said you played sports as a kid, and I hear you're not very good at basketball in real life.
Is that a challenge? Ray, you got a hoop over here, Ray?
That's the second portion of the interview.
Talking trash right now, Ray? Is that what I'm hearing? Who said this?
You said this.
Put that
I might have said it a couple times.
Put that Taj Mahal alley oop on it.
Did you have to?
That Haji bounce pass.
So did you have to study like a lot of the form of a basketball player and like the upkeep of looking like a basketball player?
In terms of like the upkeep of looking like a basketball player, I had to train, but it wasn't necessarily basketball training. It was more of just like fitness training and like meal planning, all that kind of stuff. I did that for like 2 months before we started filming.
Yeah. Do you keep it up when you're off the season now?
Not as much. Like I was eating like 8 times a day. That's work. It's serious work. So the working out is not that bad. That's like, going to the gym for an hour and a half a day is like, that's cool. I enjoy working out, so that's fun, but I'm not eating 8 times a day unless they're going to pay me to do it.
Right. So you'll also be coming up in an Independence Day reboot, which is really exciting. You'll be playing the lead, which is very awesome. Round of applause.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll basically be stepping into Will Smith's shoes because you'll be playing the lead, and the rest of the cast will be there, like Jeff Goldblum and everyone. Is there anything you can tell us about that? The process of putting that together?
Man, I mean, it's such a huge, huge project. You know, I'm incredibly humbled to be just a part of it. Of course, I get that all the time. Everybody says, like, oh, you're stepping directly into Will Smith's shoes. And it's like, not really. You know, like, he did his thing. I'm doing mine. I'm playing his stepson, Dylan, like, all grown up. This is exactly, like, 20 years later. So, basically, you know, this film's going to take place 20 years after that thing happened, you know, and how the world is now, because a lot of it got destroyed in the first movie. So it's like, we've come back together and united in a way that, I mean, we probably should do in reality, but yeah, you'll get a chance to see what it's like.
That's a big change from Oscar Mayer Wiener commercials, which
Somebody did their research.
your first acting role was for a commercial for Oscar Mayer Wieners,
like
right?
Some Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial.
Did Oscar Mayer Wiener?
Yeah, you remember the My Bologna was the first of that?
What?
Yeah, man,
I didn't know that.
way back when.
And
I'm hanging out with the
Thank you.
Oscar Mayer Wiener, man.
Thank you. Now you just gave him some ammunition now. Like, look, you're going to use this against me for the next 2 years.
And Mike, you've also got some big projects coming up. You're going to be starring in the Uncle Buck reboot, which is huge. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I mean, it's a beloved movie. You know, John Candy was amazing in it. You know, so many people have watched it over the years. Can you tell us anything about the new show and what you'll be doing on it?
Yeah, it's a television show, Uncle Buck, and I'm playing the black guy on the show. So
then, what is JB Smoove doing if you're playing the black guy?
but I'm thrilled and excited to be playing Uncle Buck on ABC. This is my first pilot series ever been picked up on national television. So I'm excited about it, and I'm looking to bring, you know, even though it's an Uncle Buck, it's a movie, I'm looking to bring Mike Epps to it and service my fans and those who don't know me to introduce myself to them in a funny way.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah. Thank you.
And last question from me, and then we'll go to the audience. You know, the show gets compared to Entourage every now and then because it has a kind of a similar structure and a similar vibe. The Entourage movie just came out this summer. Will there ever be a Survivor's Remorse movie down the pipeline?
It should, huh?
That should be. That's a good question. I haven't heard any, you know, talks of it, but I think we could pull off a Survivor's Remorse movie. I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think Cam would be doing? What would Cam's next step be after his career as a basketball player is up?
After his career as a basketball player, man, well, the way the show is going right now, it seems like he's going to be a businessman.
Yeah.
Investor, maybe something along those lines. You know, either that or you're going to pick up a drug habit. You never know. You never know with Mike O'Malley. He's one of those types. He'd be like, he's doing really well in business, and then, like, cocaine hits, and, like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how Mike writes, so we'll see. I don't really know.
That's great. Yeah, we'll take questions from the audience now.
Good. Nobody wants to ask nothing. Thanks a lot, man.
We got one up here.
Now they got to run the mics over.
How you doing, guys? Nice to meet you.
What's
guys.
up, man? How you doing?
Congratulations on your new role coming up. Congratulations on your role, Mike.
Thank
I
you,
want to know, I know you're playing Richard Pryor, Mike.
Woo! Yeah!
No disrespect. I always feel like, you know, like Will Smith and everybody gets the, you know, he's playing the next big role. Like Mike Epps is playing Richard Pryor.
Right.
And most people just look at Richard Pryor like he's just funny back in the day. Like he's a revolutionary because he like broke barriers. Like he used to make jokes about white people when you're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
now that Mike is playing it, I want to know, like, when you sit in your concentration room or away from everybody, from the cameras, and you're in that atmosphere, what do you try to channel?
I mean, you know, Richard Pryor was, like you said, man, and I'm glad you brought that up. You made a great statement when you said that. Richard Pryor is, he was definitely the bridge for, in like you said, as a revolutionary. That if you ask me, he is the beginning of hip hop, because hip hop is a rebellious form, a culture of music that came out in the 70s, the late 70s, early 80s. But Richard Pryor was saying these things in the 60s at the time, like you said, when we weren't able to have a voice. So to me, Richard Pryor is hip hop. He is the bridge work for that. So how I channel that is I was born in the 70s, and I'm a hip hop baby. So the shoe fit very well for me. You know, it fits very well for me to channel who Richard Pryor is. And I think that's the reason why they picked me, because I'm pretty close to being the closest as a modern day as he is. I ain't as crazy as Richard Pryor was, because I got bills to pay. I can't run around after school.
Great, we got another question up here in the front.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And I have two questions. I was only supposed to ask one of them, asked two, since we talked about it.
She breaking rules, okay?
How does it feel to be starring in a show that the executive producer is LeBron James? And also, congratulations on playing Richard Pryor. I want to know from you, Mike, did you have any challenges with that role, and with his family just making sure you did Richard Pryor justice?
What about the Bronx?
Okay. Well, for the first question, it kind of didn't really set in until I met LeBron for the first time, because like you can read it on paper as many times as you want, but it's different when you meet him, because he has this aura about him. You know what I mean? Like he's literally one of the greatest. So he just has this this presence, and it's overwhelming. You get enveloped in it. So I think initially it was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is great. You know what I mean? It's obviously going to be a high-profile show. LeBron's name is attached to it. So you know it's going to be good. It's going to be done right. You know, a basketball show executive produced by LeBron. It's like, okay, cool. It's going to be good. And then you meet him and you're like, wow, you know, this is deep. Like it's a good feeling.
Yeah, LeBron James is definitely and he's a great person too. I mean, a really, really nice guy, you know. As big as he is and as tough as he looks, he's a
kind of
really
soft. No, I'm just playing. Don't tell LeBron I said he was soft.
But that's what I like about him, is that he's a very he's a gentle giant, really nice guy, really good businessman, good family guy, and that's what I love about him. And for the Richard Pryor, you said that has there been challenges? Of course, it has been challenges with the family and the kids and the wife, but I'm just an actor for hire. I don't get into family politics. Lee Daniels picked me to play it. I'm going to play Richard Pryor, and when that movie's over, I'm going to continue to be Mike Epps.
We got another question back there.
Well, congratulations to both of you once again.
Thank you.
Will the audience be able to relate to any of the characters in Survivor Remorse?
Oh, yeah, you can relate to all the characters in Survivor's Remorse. That's kind of the whole gist of the show, is having these characters that are so relatable. Like, although it may seem like being a professional athlete is so far-fetched, this dude's going through the same stuff that, like, everybody goes through on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like, he's dealing with an inappropriate family, and, you know, the money doesn't necessarily mean that he's different than anybody else. There's still you can just think about it. What was it, 4 or 5 months ago that they was broke living in Dorchester or whatever, and then now all of a sudden they got all this money, they moved to a big house. It doesn't change who they are.
Right. I think those characters, that was a good question, man, because to me, that's what drives the show sometimes. Most of the time is that those characters are so relatable that, you know, when you're watching this show, you really, really looking for that. You looking to compare these people to yourself, to your cousins, to your friends. And to me, that's what drives the show. That's what makes people keep coming back and watching and say, you know, because people talk to themselves when they're watching film and television. And a lot of times they're saying to themselves, that's me, or I know somebody like that. They just don't verbally say it. So, of course, these characters definitely are very relatable.
Everybody's got an Uncle Julius.
Huh?
Everybody's got an Uncle Julius.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everybody's got, yeah.
I got 4 in my family.
Time for 2 more questions.
How you guys doing?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
So we done our research. Jesse, how does it feel to be a leap year baby?
Do you celebrate like every 4 years or just pick a date, focus on? I wouldn't change it for any other day in the world, man. I love it. I celebrate on the 28th when my birthday's not there. Either that or recently I kind of been taking the whole month of February. I don't really care. Like, I'd be like, Valentine's Day is also my birthday. I got friends whose birthdays in February. I'm like, yeah, we're sharing this one. But other than that, like when February 29th does actually come, I do throw like a much bigger party. And then the theme will be whatever age I'm turning. So like next year I'll throw myself like a big 6-year-old's party at a club or something. You know what I mean?
And you'll invite us all, I assume.
Of course, and then everybody here is invited right now. We're going to write y'all names down. You just got to come to L.A. It'll be good.
They have to take care of their own airfare.
Right,
but
whatever gifts you bring got to be fit for a 6-year-old. It's going to be that kind of thing. It's going to be like a jump house, like in the club. That's how I do it.
We got one last question up in the front.
Yes, good afternoon. This question is directed to Mike Epps. And no disrespect.
No, none taken. I'm not going to drop the mic right now and walk off. It's okay.
So my question is, what keeps you fresh? You've been around for quite some time, and you've done different genres of acting. And I don't want to point him out, but there's another generation in this room that belongs to me, my son, who loves you just as much as I do. So what keeps you fresh?
Well,
see who looks like her right now.
It's the guy with glasses.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed to be in this business for 21 years now, and there's in this business there's a you can do everything in 10 years and be gone forever, or you can stretch it out and keep reinventing yourself and not burn yourself out, not put yourself out there too much, because people will get tired of you. And this wasn't by choice that I didn't become a big star and hit the top of my mountain. It wasn't by choice. It was by favor for whatever God had in store for me, because I don't think everybody is equipped and built to be able to withstand success at certain times and moments of their lives. And I really appreciate God for taking the time with me and not giving me what I thought I should have when I wanted it. Because of course I wanted to be a big mega star for so many years. And I always asked God why you would never let me be the big mega star that I wanted to be. And I stopped asking him why, and I started figuring out that my job is I'm a journeyman, and I had to realize that this is a marathon and not a race. So I continue to reinvent myself all the time through the talents and the blessings that he gave me, that I can switch my look up a million different ways. I can disappear, and I can be happy with having $2 in my pocket and not 100 million. And some of my best fun and some of my best people that I've ever known and met was when I had nothing. So I hold on to that. And in the process of that, he keeps giving me an opportunity to revitalize myself and reinvent myself. And I have to give a lot of credit to water and one a day vitamins. Mega Man.
Thank you guys for coming out today.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all.